what is the human element? What's going on with us humans to where we get so comfortable with average? You know, and there are lots of theories, right? Because excellence, let's just be honest, we all know that excellence is hard. Some of us have a better picture of it than others. But excellence for many feels so far away, like a huge mountain peak on the other side of the world, right? So just pick your mountain peak that you learned about in geography and just think about how far away it is, and you begin to process that, and that's how a lot of people look at success. Oh, that's nice. It looks good on a picture, on a coffee table book, or in a documentary that I'm watching. It's interesting to learn about, but it's not possible for me. That really is the case. And because of that, all of a sudden, excellence becomes unattainable. Average becomes expected. I can do average. If I'm lucky, I have a good life. I can have moments of good. If I'm lucky, just 15 seconds of excellence here and there. So, the reason that people stay stuck in an average life and they begin to excuse it is twofold. There's two muscles that they have yet to develop. And we're going to use these as metaphorical muscles. Guts and grit. In other words, the gut and grit. Now, what do I mean? Let's talk about the gut. There's an old phrase that's been around a long time. I don't know who came up with it, but you've used it before, or you've heard somebody use it. I've got a gut feeling. And it's always tied to moments of big decision in our life, and where we're wrestling through all of the different potential outcomes, circumstances related to the outcomes, and options. And what happens is you'll hear somebody, they're kind of walking through it. And by the way, we could use it for small decisions as well. But it generally is coming from a place where we say, you know what? I don't have clear-cut black and white facts that are informing my decision, but I've got enough black and white to where I'm going to lean on this thing called the gut. Thus the phrase, a gut feeling. But for those cynics out there who just believe that logic, the brain is the only way, and you don't trust your heart. So when guys like me say things like follow your heart, I say it every day on the program, you begin to go, wait a second, I don't know if that squares off scientifically. So let me tell you about the science. So I read about a study recently that a world-renowned physicist, and the name escapes me right now, but it's cited in the book, The Secret Life of the Mind, that I've been reading. And they did a study of grandmaster chess players. If you don't know about chess, that probably means you've got an exciting life. I don't lead a very exciting life, so I know too much about chess. I was in the chess club, full disclosure, 5th and 6th grade. I know that's not surprising many of you at all. But I'm fascinated with chess. And so they did this study on grandmaster chess players. All right, you ready for this? Here's the breakdown. They put heart monitors on these chess players. And what they observed was that every time the grandmaster chess players made an incorrect move that proved to be fatal to the game, there was a spike in their heart rate. Now, I'm cutting through all the scientific stuff that makes your eyes roll around. I had to read this about 2 or 3 times. Here was the conclusion. That logic and the heart, or the gut, it's all connected. There are times where our brain doesn't give us a clear logical conclusion. And when that is the case, this is crazy, watch this, the brain then sends a signal to the body trying to warn you through a physical feeling. And so what they proved was that the heart rate spiked in an attempt to warn them that this was not a good decision. So the conclusion, the brain and the gut, or the brain's logic machine, is also connected to our body. And many times when our brain and the thinking process does not give us a clear conclusion, the brain will then try to warn us one more time. And thus the heart rate spiked. So all that to say, the term or the phrase gut feeling has got some real validity to it. So I say all that to say that the two reasons, one is gut and one is grit. We'll get to grit in a second, because it all starts with the gut. And the gut and the heart are essentially the same thing. The gut becomes the metaphor for the heart. I got a gut feeling means my heart is telling me to go this way, where my head is telling me to go that way. All right? So, deep instincts must be listened to. We have got to learn to listen to our heart and trust the heart. That emotion is not silly. It is not meant to be overlooked. It is meant to be listened to and followed. And so first, it is gut. You got to learn to mine and trust that gut feeling. That's the heart. That's the first one, which is gut. And when you begin to really understand the heart, and you begin to say that my heart desires this, this is the ultimate sign of what it is I really desire. All right? And then we got to develop grit. So it is the gut that moves us out onto the path that moves us forward. We got to listen to the heart. It is the heart that ultimately we've heard the term passion around love, or I talk about passion as relates to work you love. The root word for passion in Latin is pati, P-A-T-I, and it means to suffer. In other words, I am willing to suffer in order for this desired outcome. We see this in love. We see this in parenting. We see this in business. We see this in sports. If you have a passion to get fit, you will suffer through the training and the exercise and the nutritional sacrifices in order to get that desired outcome. So it is only when we trust our gut that we get out and we get on the path, and then watch. When life throws the nasty stuff at us, the delays, the detours that are financial or physical or emotional or mental, it is grit that keeps us going. That's why most people lead an average life. They do not learn to trust their gut and follow it, and then they don't stay with it. You must follow your gut. You must develop grit. You do those two things, I can tell you this, you'll never lead an average life.